Okay, before we start this video, here's a little game we're going to play. This is a cap. This is the cap meter. Are we good? Cool. Okay, so I'm not messing around with the title this time. This video may end up sending me to jail.
Him.
Maybe. We'll see. And the reason is...
My fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end.
It has come to my attention I can say there's a lolly I do like. It's this one, but...
You going to jail. You're going to jail.
Wait, hold up, look at the time. Nah, for real, just pause and look. There's still about 9 minutes left, so at least give me a chance, man, come on. So, I've never been a fan of the voice of lolly content in anime. I often feel that it ruins my experience hearing these grown individuals make these cutesy voices, man. I'm sorry, man, I don't like the baby voices, man. It's like picturing like this little girl character being voiced by like a grown individual forcefully making childlike voices. It throws me off, man. Kind of same reason I don't like YouTube.
I want Annie as my daughter. Daughter? You want to be my actual daddy?
Jesus Christ.
Bottom line is I don't understand this obsession with like manga authors and lollies, bro, and it kind of baffles me that a lot of people just kind of push it under the rug.
For lolly art to exist, someone has to actually draw that shit. The fact that people are drawing it willingly when there are other, less suspicious alternatives is, again, quite concerning. Like, you can just say no to drawing that shit if you don't think it's okay, right? Saying no is just as valid of an option.
I mean, I'm all for allowing people to do whatever they want, but if someone you knew was really making profit off drawing nothing but little girl, like, you know, henty, you wanna look at them like a little bit sideways? Like, you wouldn't say anything? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, I don't know how many manga I have read that get caught by this issue. Like, how does the author of Rurouni Kenshin get caught with CP? I would expect that from, like, you know, like maybe like Made in Abyss or Kobayashi's Maid Dragon, something like that, man. I tried giving Rurouni Kenshin a shot after watching retrospective from like Bonsai Pop. Quick shout out to them, please give us some more support. And I decided to watch the remake, and I was like, this is so good. But this eerie sense of the author using some of his funds for CP kind of made me fall back on the show. Now, just to clarify, I don't know if he used it for it or not, but I only know one source of income that he has available to him. So, you know.
Brother,
A friend also tried to recommend me towards Gaoko-chan, and that author was also arrested and found guilty for being in possession of CP as well, which, if you look at the show, it's a little bit more obvious.
Weird. Buddy, you're weird.
I think the most heinous form of this issue for me comes from a story known as Marginal Operation. And spoiler warning for the story, by the way. If you continue, yeah, I've been warned. I'm spoiling the whole thing. So the story takes place with a jobless 30-something dude named Arata, who is in the middle of trying to land a new job since his old company went bankrupt. He finds a job working for a PMSC in Tajikistan. Before even being accepted for the job, potential employees had to take a test. That test is pushing a button that when pressed triggers a gun that will execute a prisoner. Simple enough. And that continued to be his job, where not to push the button. It soon expanded into which they gave more buttons for more options. The buttons were whether to advance, retreat, or fire depending on the situation. It felt like one constant strategy game. This continuous monotony practically felt like the company was trying to turn their workers into unthinking drones. But this was the first job he was really good at. He had an excellent memory and was pretty good at playing strategy games. He even received praise for doing a good job, which was a first for him as well. So he was definitely happy about it. After all, they're simply playing a game. Well, it turns out those units that they controlled were real people. Those decisions were affecting real people, and that village, well... So now Arata takes a different approach. This time he works hard to minimize all casualties during his operations. But the troops he's working with now are children. However, instead of being disgruntled, he decides to help these kids any way he can. These children had lost their innocence way too early, some of them losing their family members as well as being assaulted and killed by their former commanders. A lot of them were casualties of war and many of them were simply abandoned by their families. So having a commander who actually cared about their well-being was seen as a blessing for them. Eventually, Arata decides to take them away from the war-torn life, promising to find an area where these kids can grow up to be normal kids. This manga explores the topic of how war affects a multitude of cultures, especially children, suffering alone in the streets, some of them living as unfeeling things to be toyed with. But it's through them meeting with Arata that they start to become real kids again. He provides them with teachers to help educate them, he gives them color pencils so they can draw. Children begin to smile again, to talk to Arata about their dreams and are able to experience peaceful lives. It's a wholesome relationship. Or at least it was, until the author decides that one of those kids and Arata should be a thing.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
Look, I know how they mentioned how there is a cultural difference between Japanese people and the specific culture the children come from, and it's kind of played off as a joke, so I'm like, maybe once or twice. When the story keeps pushing for it, for a man who actively calls himself these kids' father to have relationships with someone he sees like a daughter, it's like, bruh, like, why? I don't understand. You literally gave this man two other, okay, like maybe three if you include this other one, but like three other women who are above age you can interact with. Why in the world would you insist on making a grown-ass man go with the kid in this kind of story? This man had the perfect play, but he decided instead to pull a Seahawks, man. He decided to pull a whole J.R. Smith. How is it so hard to wrap up a story with a proper conclusion and keep it completely clean, man? Do you want to get caught? Bro, it ruins the entire joint for me because now the wholesome approach is ruined. So now, having said all this, it would be surprising that the story I want to talk about today is My Wife Became an Elementary School Student. Yeah, that title's not really doing me any favors, but hold on, let me at least explain myself. Despite all my ranting about my issues, this story actually has none of those. Except, the husband wanted to marry a child thing, but at Japan, I guess. Anyways, this story struck a chord with me within the first episode. Keisuke Nijima is a man who lives life with no purpose. That's due to the fact that his wife was killed in an accident 10 years ago. Going to work and eating the same store-bought meals with his daughter day after day. That is until a kid he doesn't know shows up at his doorstep and claims to be his wife. She remembers everything, from when and where he proposed to all his favorite foods. She even remembers what he said when he first tried her home cooking. She comes the next day and hands him a homemade meal. When he goes to sit down and eat it, he cries, because it was a taste that he hadn't experienced for 10 years. This scene really struck with me. As of this year, it would only be 3 years that my father had passed away. It's not that easy when a part of your life just up and vanishes on you. You feel that presence deep down, but you can't physically experience it anymore. So if someone you cherish came back to you, in any shape or form, wouldn't that make you happy? This show really tackles that feeling of losing someone dear to you, not only for the main characters, but also for the side characters as well. Each of them going through their own varying degrees of trauma, but it was through them connecting with other people that allowed them to take the step forward to improve their lives. That's also how Keisuke views the return of his wife to Kai. It's a blessing that may never occur again, and as such, he takes the time to wholeheartedly enjoy their time together in the present, living day to day, enjoying life as it stands. And that's something that we all have to go through when dealing with pain. As in the slight spoilers for the ending, by the way, this once-in-a-lifetime miracle isn't permanent. Life can be cruel and unexpected. Some days it feels like you're nothing but a punching bag getting beat down over and over again. But does that mean we should let the pain and suffering bog us down? I think this story leaves a good message for that overall. The pain and trauma shouldn't be anchors to keep us in place, because while it may feel like it, life doesn't end there. It continues, and as it does, we should look towards the things that we still have around us, whether that be family, friends, or just someone you come across by chance. Those memories of our loved ones can contain many hurtful moments, but just as many beautiful ones as well. And life has so many more beautiful moments to offer you, so many small miracles that are in your day to day. You can only truly see and appreciate them once you find the strength to keep on moving. I want to give credit to some of the clips that were used in the video. The sources of those clips were Murasaki Juice and Matt CMG. Two very good content creators that I think y'all should provide some love to, and the link to their channel will be in the description below. I'll also provide links to some of the music that was used in the description as well. I especially want to take note of Genesis Keys, a very talented music creator who goes week after week producing banger after banger. They're currently only at 10K subscribers, so I think y'all should go over there and show them some love. And also I'll leave a message for you viewers at home. Hey, yo, that's them! They watched the whole thing, bro. Thought it was me going to jail, bro? Nah, it's y'all freaky asses, bro. Get them off the internet now!